Hello guys, how are you all? Welcome to my channel. So, today we are gonna see, what if Naruto married with Robin, part 1. Subscribe if you enjoy the video, let's start the story. Naruto ran as fast as his little 5-year-old legs could carry him. He kept running, not even looking back. "Release me, and I will make them go away," whispered a soothing voice. "Who said that?" said Naruto, as a beer bottle hit the ground right in front of him. He surprised himself, as he was able to jump a clear foot into the air over the glass, and continue running. "Trust me. If you release me then I will make sure no one ever bothers you again. You will be free, trust me," said the voice. "It's a dead end ahead. That demon has nowhere to go." Okay, I release you. Please help me get out of here," shouted Naruto. His body froze, as dark crimson chakra swirled around him. "Ah!" the little boy screamed, as his body was ripped to pieces by the vile chakra. That is all he could remember before everything went black. Naruto slowly opened his eyes and found himself staring at an unfamiliar ceiling. He blinked a few times wondering where he was. Strange, he couldn't remember anything except for his name. Uzumaki Naruto. Nothing else. Not what he was doing here, how he got here, or anything else for that matter. "I wonder what happened to me," he thought as he stared down at his heavily bandaged chest. Strange, he didn't feel hurt or anything. He hopped out of bed and grimaced a bit. Okay, maybe he is injured a bit. Still, he wanted to find out where he was. Like all children his age, he had the ability to stay still and a huge deal of curiosity. Opening the door, he headed into the next room. It was a nice living room area. A curious look appeared in his eyes as he realized no one was home. Did he live here? The sounds of something coming outside made him turn around just as the door opened and in walked a tall handsome man wearing a white jacket. Naruto tilted his head curiously as the man had short black hair, a bit on the thin side, and brown eyes. "Oh, I see you are awake," smiled the man. "I am Dr. Higurashi. I don't think you should be out of bed with the type of injuries I found on you. Tell me, were you attacked by a wild animal?" "I don't know," blinked Naruto, scratching the back of his head. Dr. Higurashi frowned as he pulled out a small flashlight and walked over to Naruto. He gave the boy a reassuring smile before kneeling down. "Keep your eyes open for me and follow the light." Naruto blinked a few uncomfortable times before doing as he was told. It seems you are fine, mentally. I think perhaps you are suffering from amnesia, not surprising taking into account how you were found." A confused look appeared in Naruto's eyes. "Forgive me. Amnesia means that you are suffering from memory loss. Do you remember anything at all?" smiled Dr. Higurashi. Naruto shook his head. "I remember my name. Uzumaki Naruto." "Well, that is a start. I shall ask around to see if you have any relatives within the other town on the island. It may take a few days, so until then you can stay here," smiled Dr. Higurashi. Arigato smiled at Naruto brightly. A loud rumbling sound came from Naruto's stomach and Dr. Higurashi chuckled before bringing the boy over to the kitchen to get something to eat. 3 years later, the door to the tavern swung open and in ran a small 8-year-old boy. He had short blonde hair with light red streaks in it. His eyes were a sparkling ocean blue. A large fox-like grin graced his face as he ran past the patrons and jumped onto a stool. "Hey old man, have you seen Pirate-san around?" grinned Naruto. "My name is Grim, not an old man," grumbled a tall fat man with a frown. Grim owned Grim's Tavern in Shimaki Town. A man who was known to not care who he catered to as long as they followed his rule of no violence. "Bob is over there." Grim pointed to a booth where a man in his early 60s sat drinking down a pint of rum. He had a white beard that fell down to his chest and a faraway look in his eyes. The old man wore a red pirate outfit and had a sword hanging from his waist along with a pair of pistols. Naruto hopped off the stool and over to the booth. "Pirate-san. Can you tell me another story about the Grand Line? Please." Bob raised his tired old eyes and smiled slightly as he looked upon the grinning Naruto. Ever since he had come here 2 weeks ago, the boy had been hounding him for stories of his adventures. Especially when he had told the boy that he and his crew had traveled through the first half of the Grand Line. "Don't you have anything better to do than bother me? How about friends or school?" grunted Bob, pretending to be annoyed by Naruto's presence. "Meh, school is boring. My friends just want to play. I want to become a pirate and travel the world just like you." "This place is so boring," pouted Naruto. A hearty laugh escaped Bob. "So young, so full of life. Being a pirate isn't easy, lad. I know my stories sound fun and full of adventure, but the danger out there. Talking is easy, walking the walk, now that's the hard part. So many of my friends and I were unprepared for the Grand Line and many of us were lost." "A pirate's life is hard," said Bob seriously. The look of understanding appeared in Naruto's eyes. "Hi. I understand. I watch people die all the time from illnesses or injuries that Dr. San can't heal. But I don't want to worry about things like that." We all die, I just want to enjoy it while I can. I dream of going on the greatest adventure ever. Meeting tons of new people, fighting strong opponents, and kicking their butts, grinned Naruto. Bob smirked. This kid had what it took to be a pirate, as long as he carried that attitude. He could see this kid becoming one of the greatest pirates ever. All he needed was proper training and guidance. You want to do something fun? How about you and I get out of here and I teach you how to use a sword? I may not be the best swordsman in the land, but I am pretty damn good, Naruto grinned widely and nodded vigorously. The two left the tavern with Bob laughing at Naruto's enthusiasm. 2 years later woods. Naruto sat on the ground patiently as Bob taught him all he knew about the world government, marines, and Grand Line. Bob may not have ever fully explored the Grand Line, but he had managed to make it through the first half before his crew was killed in what was now known as the New World. Not many knew it, but Bob had a bounty of 85 million berry on his head. In fact, no one on this island knew that Bob had been a rather infamous and powerful pirate back in his younger days. The world government controls the Marines, who have most of their forces in the Grand Line. They are Marines in each of the 4 oceans, but they are nothing to the forces located in the Grand Line, said Bob, taking a swing from his flask. If the Grand Line is so hard to navigate through, then how come so many Marines are able to do so? Asked Naruto curiously. Simple, they have ways to move through the calm belt and use eternal poses to get to whatever island they need to. Now, there are many uncharted islands, but once you have an eternal pose somewhere, you don't need to wait like you do with a log pose, explained Bob. Naruto frowned, doesn't seem fair. Bob laughed, nothing in life is. A pirate's life is all about facing insurmountable odds and overcoming them. Life ain't fair, boy. You either accept that or be crushed by the weight of the world. A grin appeared on Naruto's face. Unafraid. Tell me more about devil fruit, grinned Naruto. Leaning back, Bob told him the limited knowledge that he knew. Not much is known about them. Heck, all I know is that when you find a weirdly colored fruit that tastes absolutely horrible, you probably just ate a devil fruit. Each fruit is different, impossible to tell what will become of you until you take a bite. Bob's eyes became hard and serious. In the Grand Line, be prepared to fight those who have weak powers of turning into slime to those who can call upon the very forces of nature. The weakness of all devil fruit users is the ocean, of course. They are all hammers in the water, but no true warrior will be stupid enough to land in the ocean. Listen closely because this is the best advice I will ever give you. Naruto leaned in close. Everyone has a weakness, smirked Bob. Everyone has a weakness. No one in this world is a god. Everyone, and I mean goddamn everyone, has a weakness. Do you think Gold Roger became Pirate King without any devil fruit powers off of pure luck? Hell no. Bob pointed his finger at Naruto and spoke with a hard voice. That man never gave up and always fought on. He knew better than anyone that there is always a way to win. One just needs to look for it. He pointed at his head. I guarantee if you use your head to win a fight, then there is no one in the world you can't beat, smirked Bob. A fox-like grin appeared on Naruto's face. I plan on being one of the strongest with or without a devil fruit. Though it would be cool to have some awesome power, grinned Naruto. Then you wouldn't be able to swim, smirked Bob. Oh well, I was never good at swimming. I feel like a hammer already in the water, the two burst out laughing. Break. Dr. Higurashi sat in his chair with a sad look in his eyes. The Marines had come to town today, and they had taken Bob, or should he say the infamous pirate cutthroat Bobby, who had 85 million berry bounty on his head. He had known the man's identity all along, but had kept it secret, seeing how much Naruto loved to spend time with a former pirate who just wanted to live in peace for the remainder of his life. Naruto is out learning how to hunt from Kaiser, so he wasn't here when they came. It seemed he would have to be the one to break the news to Naruto. Dr. I am home. Yelled Naruto, running inside with a large smile. Look, I managed to kill 2 rabbits, grinned Naruto proudly. I am proud. Put those in the kitchen sink and come back out here. I have something to give to you, smiled Dr. Higurashi. Naruto nodded as he did as he was told. The boy had become a son to him and he hated to have to tell him this news. Bob is someone that Naruto idolized and it was never easy to see one's idol disappear. The boy came running back and sat down on the couch next to him anxiously. Okay, so what do you want to give to me? Smiled Naruto. I want you to read this. It is a letter from a friend of ours, said Dr. Higurashi. Naruto didn't like that tone or look. Something bad had happened. Did Alex's dad finally die from that illness? Or was it something else? Dear lad, if you are reading this letter, then I guess the Marines have come for me, or I have been captured by a couple of bounty hunters. I could stay and fight them, but I am getting old and my fighting days are behind me. The truth is, I always knew this day would come and I swore when it did, I wouldn't start a fuss. I had a good and long journey. I have no regrets. These last 2 years have been great. Being around you has reminded me of the days when I used to sail the sea. When nothing in the world matters except drinking, partying, and drinking some more. Haha. The good times. Nothing lasts forever, and it is time for us to part ways. If you dare start crying like a baby or any of that other girly crap, I am going to pretend we never met when it comes to meeting again in the afterlife. Think I am joking, just do it and my ghost will kick your ass. Naruto smiled. Now listen up, lad. You got the spirit to become one of the best pirates. Not those rookies who talk big then run away at the slightest sign of danger. No, I see greatness in you, lad. If you don't want to become a pirate, at least don't become some pansy-ass marine, or I'll kick your ass. No, I am kidding, be whatever you want, just make sure you live life to the fullest. Sail the seas, wrote Bobby. Naruto put down the letter and smiled. They took him while you were out. He didn't want to make a scene so went quietly, said Dr. Higurashi. I'll have to kick his ass next time I see him for allowing a bunch of pansy-ass marines to take him in so easily, grinned Naruto. A light laugh escaped Dr. Higurashi. Naruto truly is something else. Yeah, I guess you will, but first. This is now yours, said Higurashi standing up. He walked over to the fireplace and picked up a medium-sized antique box with rubies all over it. A confused look appeared in Naruto's eyes as his adopted father placed it down in his laps. That old pirate left it for you. Said it was the greatest treasure he found while sailing the Grand Line. All the remains of his great adventure. Wanted you to have it. Whatever it is now yours. Do with it as you please. Dr. Higurashi ruffled Naruto's hair before leaving Naruto alone with the box. Slowly, Naruto opened the box and his eyes widened. Inside the box was an albino white pear with red stem and leaves. He immediately knew what the item was. A devil fruit. That old pirate bastard had left him a devil fruit. There was a note on top of it which he picked up. Eat or don't eat. No one is invincible. Naruto grinned. Everyone had a weakness. That is what Bob made sure to ingrain into his head. Picking up the fruit, Naruto wondered which one it was. If it was something stupid like turning into jello or if it was a cool one, only one way to find out. When I get free from this. I am going to kill you both, glared Zoro as he watched as Johnny and Usopp swam off when they saw the first signs of Merman. They left him tied to the mast of the small ship. Those damn cowards. He was going to make them pay for this. The humming sound reached his ears and he turned to see what that could be. Zoro turned his head to see a small single-man boat heading towards Arlong's park. In it was a man humming a song. He had long light blonde hair that fell down past his shoulders, a loose-fitting orange shirt that hung open revealing his muscular chest, and a pair of black slacks. His eyes were closed as he hummed a light tune while relaxing in his boat. Hey pal, yelled Zoro. The man stopped humming and opened his eyes. A curious look appeared in the man's eyes. Yo, do you know that you are tied up? Pointed out the man. Zoro gained a tick, of course I do. Can you give me a hand? Sure, smiled the man. He stood up and stretched his arms and legs. Zoro gained a slight twitch as the man took a good 3 to 5 minutes to stretch. Name is Uzumaki Naruto. Roronoa is Zoro, now get me out of this. Naruto jumped from his ship and landed in front of Zoro. Just as he was about to untie the ropes, 3 blurs burst out of the water and landed on the ship. Look what we got here. A couple of humans smirked at one of the mermen. Yeah, one is already tied up for us, smirked another. This doesn't look good, blinked Naruto. I am going to kill Usopp and Johnny, thought Zoro. Arlong's park. Arlong smirked as he looked down at the 2 tied up prisoners. What have we got here? A couple of humans. The merman laughed while Zoro frowned and Naruto tilted his head in confusion. What is a human? You humans are so filthy and disgusting that I decided to call you humans to describe what you truly are, laughed Arlong. This incited another round of laughter. Dude, that is the stupidest thing I have ever heard. I have heard 3-year-olds come up with better insults, deadpanned Naruto. An angry look appeared in Arlong's eyes. Zoro smirked. He is starting to like Naruto. Man wasn't afraid of anything. What is going on out here? I can barely concentrate in my room, demanding a feminine voice. Out from behind Arlong came a pretty orange-hair woman. Nami. What are you doing with him? Frowned Zoro. You know this man Nami? Asked Arlong. Nami smirked, yeah. This is one of the pirates I tricked into believing I was his friend. What an idiot. Arlong and the others started to laugh as Nami looked down upon Zoro. She ignored Naruto who blinked in confusion. Zoro's eyes widened as Nami showed him the tattoo on her upper right arm. The tattoo that was identical to the Jolly Roger that Arlong flew on his flag. So you really are with them. I thought you hated pirates, but it looks like that was all a scam, glared at Zoro. Idiot. I only joined you to get your treasure and money. Now that I got that nothing else matters, smirked Nami. Aha, that's my girl. You would sell out your own mother as long as it meant making a quick berry, laughed Arlong and his gang. It was then that Naruto and Zoro noticed the look in her eyes. That look of pure hatred towards Arlong and his pirates. She was putting on an act. Why? They didn't know, but it had to be a really good reason to put up with this bunch of pirates. Really? Well then, if that's the case, Zoro never finished as he used his legs to jump back into the water. They were all surprised by this action. What a fool. Saves us the trouble of having to deal with him, laughed one of the mermen. Nami clenched her fists before kicking off her shoes and diving in. Arlong narrowed his eyes as Nami came back up with Zoro, who was coughing up water. Idiot, she started to kick Zoro over and over again where he had been injured by Mihik. Zoro coughed up some blood as Nami looked down at him dispassionately. "Ha ha, looks like you're not as bad as you pretend to be," smirked Zoro before grunting as he was kicked again. "I'm so confused. You hate humans yet you have some hot girl working for you? And then the hot girl saves the swordsman. I'm so lost," I frowned at Naruto. Arlong looks right at Nami, "What do you plan to do with these two?" He completely ignored Naruto. Nami put her sandals back on and scowled as she looked at the two, locking them up until I could find something to do with them. "I'll make sure it is very painful." Arlong smirked, glad to see where her true loyalty lay. "Hey swordsman, can we break free now or is there something keeping us here?" asked Naruto. Zoro raised an eyebrow. "You can get free." Naruto nodded. A tick appeared on Zoro's forehead. The mermen grabbed the two and started to push them towards the dungeons located beneath Arlong Park. "It's too late now. Damn her for reopening my wounds. I need a bit of a break to rest," grumbled Zoro. "Sure. I wouldn't feel right kicking all their asses when you seem to have some personal grudge against them," grinned Naruto. A smirk appeared on Zoro's face. Naruto reminded him a lot of Luffy, but just a bit smarter. Though they both had the same carefree attitude. Cell. The doors to Zoro and Naruto's cell opened up. They both looked up to see Nami standing in the doorway. She tossed a knife that cut through the ropes binding Zoro before tossing his sword down in front of him. "Get out here. Just take your ship and leave. What is going on here doesn't concern you at all." "Okay. So just leave," ordered Nami angrily before leaving. "That is one bipolar hot chick. I like her," grinned Naruto standing up the ropes that were binding him lying on the ground. "How did you do that?" asked Zoro, placing his sword on his waist. Naruto blinked before Zoro pointed to the ropes. He grinned as bones in the shape of spikes started to emerge from his arms. "Ate the hon no mi, bone fruit, allows me to manipulate the bones in my body however I want," explained Naruto. "Sounds painful," winced Zoro slightly. "Man, you have no idea how hard it was first learning to control my powers. But, you know, eventually you get used to it," grinned Naruto. The two walked out of the cell and up the stairs leading out of the place. Naruto placed his hands behind his head. "So, what is the plan? Do we just beat everyone up? Kill them? What do we do?" Zoro smirked as he placed his hand on the hilt of his sword. "I promised my captain I would bring back that idiot girl. Can't go and break a promise now. So, the first thing I am going to do is kick all those talking fish asses, then look for Nami." Naruto grinned, "Bet you I can take more out than you. You're on." "Alright." The two ran outside to begin their contest. In less than 10 minutes, all the mermen were knocked out cold. "Aha, I got one more than you," cheered Naruto victoriously. Zoro scowled, "You got lucky is all. If the rest were here I would have won." Naruto just nodded, humoring the angry swordsman. Zoro had to admit, Naruto is a strong fighter. He didn't take a single hit and didn't even use his strange powers. Most devil fruit users that he had met or fought relied heavily on their powers. Naruto seemed to enjoy fighting whether using his powers or not. "I got to say, I expected more. I heard mermen were physically stronger than humans in water and on land," said Naruto sitting down on the ground. "Best we ran into a weak bunch," said Zoro sitting down in Arlong's chair. "That sucks. So what now? Wait for them to return or go looking for them?" "I hate waiting," said Naruto. "Let's go into town. I need to look for some idiot of mine and kick their ass," smirked Zoro. Naruto hopped to his feet and the two left Arlong's park. "Osa village. So, you are the one who had all the weapons?" smirked Arlong looking down upon the human. The merman towered over the man by at least 4 feet. Genzo looked up from his spot near the fountain as the pinwheel on his hat spun around by the sudden breeze. "Hi, it was me. I am a mere collector of weapons. I always have been," he lied expertly. He was well aware what would happen to him, but did not care so long as the other villagers weren't hurt. Arlong started to smirk widely as his large webbed hand grabbed Genzo by the throat and lifted him high into the air. "Stupid poo man, weapons aren't allowed. It could give people the wrong idea and start a rebellion. That is something I can't allow, as it is my duty to protect this island and everyone on it," the fishman laughed loudly. The villagers were about to step forward, but Genzo stopped them. "No, none of you interfere. It is not your problem. We must remember our promise to not fight and create violence." This caused the merman to laugh even louder as Arlong tightened his grip around Genzo's neck. You're pretty smart for a poo man. Still, I think it is time I made an example of you. Time to die. Smirked Arlong. Stop. They all turned to see a pretty woman with lavender hair and a tattoo on her right arm that went across onto her chest. She had a hard look in her eyes. Leave Genzo alone. He has paid his tribute tax every month like the rest of us. Those weapons are just things he collects, that is all. There is no reason to harm him. Shouted Nichiko. Yeah, leave him alone. Yelled the other villagers coming out of their homes. Arlong smirked. No. All turned to look at Genzo. Stop it now, otherwise we will all be killed. If you truly wish to honor me, then live. Don't throw your lives away needlessly. All the villagers gritted their teeth as Arlong and his mermen started to laugh. Arlong smirked. Time to die. Just as Arlong was about to finish Genzo, a whistling sound was heard. The large merman turned just in time to get hit by an exploding pellet. All turned to see a young man with a slight shot and long-shaped nose standing on the roof. Fear not, I, the brave warrior Usopp, shall take care of this, announced the man. I am going to kill him. Roared Arlong. All the mermen grabbed hold of Arlong. Hurry, get the boss back to the base or he'll destroy the village. They all started to drag an angry Arlong back to Arlong Park before he went on a rampage. 3 fishermen gave chase after Usopp, who ran like a bat out of hell. Break. I'm bored, yawned Naruto. You do realize that technically you don't have to help me out, stated Zoro. Oh, don't say that. If I left now, how would you ever get the chance to prove that me beating you in our last contest wasn't a fluke? Don't you want to know for sure that I am better than you? Naruto grinned widely. Zoro gained a tick. Watch it. Naruto laughed a bit before Zoro shut him up by pointing ahead. There up ahead was a town. They walked into town and Naruto blinked. Yo, what happened to that house? Zoro looked to see a destroyed house as if it had been hit by an earthquake. Yet every other home seemed to be fine. That is strange. Hey you, said Zoro walking up to one of the villagers, I am looking for Arlong. Have you seen him? Arlong, he just left after being attacked by some long-nosed guy with a slight shot, said a villager. Long nose with a slingshot. Naruto tilted his head. That's Usopp, groaned Zoro. The village came running through the village panting heavily. What's wrong, Jim? Asked a villager. That long-nosed guy. I just saw him get captured by a group of fishermen. They took him to Arlong Park, panted Jim heavily. Zoro's eyes widened. That idiot, he'll be killed after what happened after we left. I have to hurry before he is killed. The swordsman took off with Naruto running right beside him. Mind explaining who Usopp is? Asked Naruto, matching Zoro's speed with ease. He is a friend, and that was all that needed to be said. The two picked up speed. If the situation weren't so serious, Zoro would be impressed that Naruto is keeping pace without any problems. The two ran down the trail when a sudden noise made them stop. It sounded like someone was screaming. Both turned and their eyes widened as a small boat came crashing through the woods with a man with a straw hat yelling with a large smile. Zoro. Oh shit. Naruto, Zoro said before getting clobbered by the ship. It hit the side of a small plateau and was completely destroyed. We made it. Yelled Luffy with a large smile. Luffy? What the hell are you doing? Yelled Zoro angrily. Man, that hurt. But man, was that awesome. Laughed Naruto. Luffy blinked in confusion. What do you mean? I came here to help you get Nami back. How come you haven't got Nami back yet? And where are Usopp and Johnny? Who is this guy? Asked Sanji pointing at Naruto. No time. We need to hurry. Usopp was captured by Arlong, and if we don't hurry he will be killed. Yelled Zoro about to run off. It's too late. Usopp is already dead, said Johnny, showing up with tears streaming down his face. He fell to his knees as everyone turned to look at him. Johnny punched the ground. He is dead. Nami murdered him. A stunned look appeared in everyone's eyes, except for Naruto, who truly didn't understand what was going on. What? Don't say something like that, yelled Luffy, grabbing Johnny. Johnny continued to cry. I am not making it up. I saw it with my own eyes. She killed him. It seems she has been a member of Arlong's crew this whole time. Shut your mouth. Never in a million years would Nami kill Usopp. Yelled Luffy angrily. She would never do that to a friend. But what was that you said about friends, Luffy? All turned to see Nami standing there with a bow staff. She had her arms folded across her chest. What are you doing here? Luffy blinked. What are we doing here? You are our friend. We came to get you. What a pest. Nami had an emotionless look in her eyes. I am so lost, stated Naruto. Me too, admitted Sanji, but doesn't Nami Swan look beautiful? Naruto's sweat dropped as a heart appeared in Sanji's eye. Friends, huh? Don't make me laugh. You are just pathetic enough to deserve each other. Damn you. You killed him. I watched you do it. Yelled Johnny, pointing a finger at Nami. He started to shake. Now big bro Usopp is gone. Nami smiled. Yep, that's right. So why don't you kill me and get your revenge? Johnny stuttered in confusion. Word to the wise, because of your friend's stupidity. Arlong is prepared to kill Zoro and his crew. I don't care how monstrously strong you think you're no match for the real monsters. Naruto scratched the back of his head, that was mean. I promise you that if you stay on this island you will die. So you have a choice to make, smirked Nami, life or death. Zoro glared angrily. Sanji was smiling, her heartless face was so hot. Hi Nami, it's me Sanji. Let's run away together. Strange guy. But she is pretty hot, grinned Naruto. Nami, where is Usopp? Demanded Zoro. But the fishes. Cutting the crap, he drew his sword and charged forward but never got close when he was forced to dodge a kick from Sanji. What are you doing? How sad, a swordsman drawing his sword on a lady, frowned Sanji. Idiot, don't you see what is happening here? You are starting to piss me off. Sanji smirked, if someone had stopped me that easily I would be mad too. Zoro narrowed his eyes. What? Watch what you say or something bad might happen to you. Big bros, calm down. Now is not the time to be fighting, yelled Yusaku, stepping between Sanji and Zoro. He's right. You outsiders have no right to interfere with the affairs of this island. Don't you get it yet? The only reason I joined up with you is so I could rob you of everything you owned. Now that I have that there is really no reason for us to associate, stated Nami coldly. So go find some other lame navigator and go travel to the Grand Line. She pointed her staff right at them. Now leave here, you are an eyesore. Luffy looked at her before falling back on the ground. Big bro Luffy shouted at Yusaku and Johnny. I'm sleepy. How can you sleep at a time like this? The nap does sound good, said Naruto, finding a seat in the shade. I am tired. Don't want to butt into their affairs, but I am not leaving either. Good night, said Luffy, closing his eyes. Nami clenched her fist. Fine. Whatever. Just go ahead and die. She ran off, not bothering to look back. Naruto leaned back and put his hands behind his head. So, is this your whole crew, Zoro? The sigh escaped Zoro as he took a seat on the ground. Yeah. Guy lying down in the middle of the road is our Captain Luffy. Johnny and Yusaku are old bounty hunter partners of mine. The idiot with the cigarette is our chef. Cool. Big bro Zoro, we should leave the island. Now that we know the truth about Nami there is no reason to stay here. My reason for staying is right there, Zoro looked at Luffy who was sleeping. As long as he stays, so do I. If you two want to leave then go. Fine. You stay, but I am not. My role as a guide comes to an end, said Johnny. Yeah, I am with him. Guess this cuts our reunion short, said Yusaku. The two bounty hunters waved goodbye as Zoro turned to look at Luffy who continued to sleep. Can you make ramen? Asked Naruto. I can make anything, said Sanji. But ramen is the best food in the world. Why would you want to make anything else? Grinned Naruto. Sanji raised an eyebrow. Ramen is not the best thing in the world. Yes it is. No, it isn't. It is not, is too, is not, is too, is not. Shut up. You are both giving me a headache, yelled Zoro angrily. Naruto and Sanji fell silent. Sanji glared as Naruto looked away innocently pretending as if he hadn't said a thing. You said Usopp had a long nose, right? Blinked Naruto. Yeah, why? Asked Zoro. Naruto lifted a finger and pointed down the road. Zoro and Sanji turned to see Usopp running towards them. I knew she couldn't have killed him. Nami Swan is a sweet girl, smiled Sanji. Zoro. Luffy. Yelled Usopp. Luffy woke up slowly and Usopp, unable to stop in time, tripped over the young pirate captain. Usopp. Did Nami do this to you? He lifted Usopp up who now had a bent nose from crashing face first into the ground. Naruto laughed loudly while Zoro and Sanji shook their heads. You know we kind of heard you were dead, said Zoro. Stupid Johnny. He was spouting nonsense that entire time, yelled Luffy. Well, in a way it's the truth. But I am alive because she saved my life, said Usopp. Break. Nico walked towards her house after tending to the tangerine trees. She saw a teapot being thrown out the window and frowned. Walking into her home, she looked to see her sister sitting at the table with a treasure map in front of her. Mind telling me what is wrong? Said Nico, taking a seat across from Nami. Nothing, just a little upset is all, lied Nami. Those guys, huh? Nami looked up with wide eyes, you know. Yeah, that one with the long nose, Usopp. I spoke to him. He told me that you were there. Tell me you laughed, smiled, and smirked Nico. Nami looked away, not meeting her sister's eyes. I thought he was crazy. But I guess he was telling the truth seeing how you are here. Come on, tell me who these guys are. The silence reigned between the two. I had planned to forget about them. I wanted to erase them from my mind. Nico listened closely. The more I stayed with them, I just kept having more and more fun. For the first time in years, I felt free. The truth is, if it were possible, I would join up with those guys and sail around the world. Nami fell asleep with Nico looking down at her fondly. Luffy, Usopp, Zoro, Sanji and Naruto. So that is how Nami saved my life. It appears she has some hidden agenda, said Usopp. Man, you guys sure have some crazy times. But I don't think this concerns me. I'll see you all around, grinned Naruto, giving a small wave. Luffy blinked, who was that? Everyone's face faulted, as Naruto had been here the entire time, and now he just noticed him. How slow could Luffy be? Naruto walked away with a large fox-like grin. Man, I am starving. I think I'll go get something to eat. I wonder if they have any ramen here. Arlong Park, Arlong. All the fishmen turned to see Nami with a look of pure anger in her eyes as she ran towards Arlong. The leader of the fishmen wasn't in the least bit intimidated and smirked. Nami, you seem upset. What is wrong? Smirked Arlong. Nami clenched her fists. We had a deal. I give you 100 million berry and you hand over the village to me. You promised. She was breathing heavily while the other fishermen started to smirk. Arlong smirked widely. Yes, I remember that deal. Have you got the money? The Marines took it. They were being paid off by you. Can you prove it? Nami's eyes widened as Arlong started to laugh. Soon the other fishermen started to laugh as well. Did you really think I would let you go so easily? You belong to me. Arlong continued to laugh as Nami stood there frozen. Go, collect me more money. I did promise that I didn't care how long it took you. While you are collecting the money, don't forget to draw me my maps. They all laughed loudly as Nami went running off. Tears streamed down her face as she ran back towards the village as fast as possible. She didn't even notice as she ran past a familiar blonde-haired man who was walking calmly towards Arlong Park. He whistled a light tune as he continued on his path. Man, that had been some good ramen that they had served. Am I going the right way? Blinked Naruto. He shrugged and followed the road at a slow pace as he thought of all the ramen he would get once he got his boat back. What should have been a 5-minute walk turned into a 15-minute daydream. Pathetic. You weaklings don't come back here or next time we will finish you off. Naruto tilted his head as he saw two familiar men get thrown out of Arlong Parks. Johnny and Yasaku were their names if he remembered correctly. They looked like they had seen better days. You both look like you got your asses kicked, stated Naruto looking down at each man. Have you come to avenge Nami as well? Grunted Johnny. Nope. I came here to get my ship back, smiled Naruto. Your ship blinked at Yasaku. Yep, they took my ship when they captured me earlier. I came to get it back. Nice to see you two again. Johnny and Yasaku watched as Naruto entered Arlong Park humming an unfamiliar tune. Arlong and his fishmen turned to see Naruto humming a tune. His eyes lit up in delight upon seeing the human that had managed to escape them. A smirk appeared on his face as his men surrounded Naruto. Thank you for saving me the trouble of having to find you. For that I will grant you a quick death, smirked Arlong. Actually, I came here to get my ship. I want it back, smiled Naruto. Laughed Arlong and his men. Fool, we destroyed your puny ship after capturing you. And even if we didn't, do you really think I would give it back to you? Naruto frowned. Well then you owe me a new ship. I'll just take whatever you got. I'm not picky. Fool, you are not leaving here alive, said a fisherman wearing a blue karate guy. Listen, I really don't want to have to kick your asses again. It was barely fun the first time, sighed Naruto. That earned him angry glares. They were about to attack when a loud banging sound was heard. All turned just in time to see the wall be destroyed, and there standing with his fist forward was Luffy. Zoro, Sanji, Usopp, and the villagers from the town stood behind him. I am looking for Arlong, said Luffy. Did he take your ship as well? Asked Naruto. This made everyone sweat drop. You came here for your ship, said Zoro. Yeah, remember they took it after we got caught. I want it back, smiled Naruto, turning to face Zoro. The fishman took this time to attack, running towards Naruto with his back turned. Look out, yelled Nico. Naruto just continued to grin. The four fishermen who tried to sneak up on Naruto froze inches from him. They stood there with their eyes wide in horror. There stood Naruto with 10 bone spikes 2 feet long and 3 inches thick sticking out of his back piercing through each fishman. A dark look appeared in Naruto's eyes. Only cowards attack a person when their back is turned. I can't stand cowards, said Naruto coldly, turning his head. All 4 fishermen were shot backwards as the spikes propelled from Naruto's back, launching them at their friends who dived out of the way. The devil fruit user, said Arlong. Whoa, that was so cool. Hey, become me, yelled Luffy with a large smile. Idiot, now is not the time for that, yelled Zoro. Naruto blinked and shrugged, sure. But the chef there has to make me a big bowl of ramen. No way, deal. Grinned Luffy. Sanji kicks Luffy in the head. So guess the question is now, who gets to fight who? Grinned Naruto. 2 bones in the shape of handles slowly emerged from his shoulder blades. He grabbed each bone handle and pulled them out revealing them to be bones in the shape of swords. Oh Zoro, you're not the only one who knows how to fight with a sword. Zoro smirked as he drew his own blade while Luffy used his Gomu Gomu no pistol to punch Arlong right across the face. Bellamir's grave. Nami couldn't believe it. After 8 years of stealing and working for that bastard Arlong. It was all over. Arlong had been defeated. Now here she sat in front of her mother's grave as the village celebrated the defeat of Arlong. A large smile appeared on her face as she stared at the grave. Finally her village was free, and to add in an extra bonus, Luffy had gone out of his way to beat up a corrupt bunch of marines who had tried to steal all the money she had gathered over the 8 years. I figured I would find you here, stated Genzo, a smirk settling on his face. Of course, smirked Nico, coming up besides Genzo. I take your plan on joining that pirate crew, huh? A large smirk appeared on Nami's face. What do you think? Do you think she would have approved? Asked Nami. Nico turned to look at Genzo. Ha, she would have never let you become. Yes, stated Nico, interrupting the older man. He looked at her surprise. She would have wanted you to do what made you happy. Besides, even if she did say no, would you listen to her? Nami stuck her tongue out and laughed. No way. Genzo started to laugh. Nami and Nico looked at him curiously. You two truly are Bellamir's daughters. He laughed even harder as he remembered when Bellamir had left the village to join the Marines. They were both so much like her. Break. Wow, this is your ship. It is way cooler than mine, grinned Naruto. Yeah, this is the Going Merry. The ship that is going to sail through the entire Grand Line, said Usopp proudly. I'm so hungry, is there any more meat? Groaned Luffy. I just cooked the last of the food, stated Sanji regretfully. Nami pulled out a map and laid it out on the deck. She pointed her finger at a small island. Here. There is an island called Loguetown. Luffy looked at her curiously. Are they famous for their meat? He asked hopefully. Naruto smirked because he liked Luffy. The man had his priorities straight. Food before all else. Now if only he could truly understand that ramen is the food of gods, then all would be perfect. I hear it is called the beginning and the ending town, said Zoro. This is the place where Pirate King Gold D. Roger was born. And where he was executed, said Nami. Gold D. Roger? The Pirate King was killed there? Whispered Luffy in awe. Man, that is so cool, grinned Naruto excitedly. A smirk appeared on Nami's face. Want to go? Luffy had a hard look in his eyes. Let's go, I want to see where the man who had everything, the man who was known as the king of pirates was last at. Smiled Luffy. Loguetown. The crew of 6 stood at the entrance to Loguetown after docking the Going Merry. It was a very large town. Much bigger than Cocoa Village. Wow, this place is huge, gasped Usopp. Yep, this is where all pirates come to stock up before heading to the Grand Line. We should be able to find everything we need here, smiled Nami. She was thinking of all the people she could rob, then use their money to buy what she wanted. It was the perfect plan. Ah. I want to go see it. The place where the Pirate King died. Shouted Luffy, taking off running. Wait, we haven't decided what to do. Yelled Usopp. It didn't make a difference, as Luffy had a one-track mind. Geez, he really doesn't listen. Zoro shrugged, it doesn't matter. I have something that I need to buy as well. Oh, how do you plan to do that? You are totally broke, teased Nami. The swordsman frowned. That was a problem. Unlike Nami, he wasn't very good at stealing, so he would have to find another way to make the money. I would lend you some money, but I only have enough for myself to tell the truth. I need to get some new clothes, apologized Naruto. Zoro cursed inwardly as Nami smiled while holding out 100,000 berry. Marine base at Loguetown. Sir. Captain Smoker. We have an emergency alert from Marine headquarters. Shouted a Marine. He coughed a bit as he entered a room full of smoke. Not steam, but smoke. In the middle of the room lying down was a large man with short white hair. He opened his mouth and waves of smoke came out of it. What is the alert? Asked Captain Smoker, not wanting to be interrupted. The Marine saluted. Sir, we have just received word from Marine headquarters that Straw Hat Monkey D. Luffy and his pirates are heading for Loguetown. Captain Smoker stood up as the smoke in the room intensified. It seems I will have some more pirates to catch. Tell Marine headquarters that I will deal with it, said Smoker. The Marine saluted and went off to report. If there is one thing that Smoker hated, it was pirates. Break. A large smile appeared on Luffy's face. He had finally found it. The gallows where the Pirate King had been killed. It was so awesome. This is where he died. Now I just need to get to the top, smiled Luffy. Wait, how was he going to get up there? It was so tall. Oh yeah, he would climb up. Smoker pushed past the people watching as some fool tried to climb the gallows. He smirked as he recognized that certain idiot. Monkey D. Luffy. The pirate is worth 30 million berry. To be honest, he was a bit young to be worth so much, but that must mean that he was very strong. Perhaps he would finally get a challenge, though he doubted it. Hey you're Monkey D. Luffy right? The pirate said Smoker was somehow able to speak just fine despite the 2 large cigars in his mouth. Luffy turned around and blinked curiously. Me? Yeah, I am a pirate, he answered. The name is Smoker. I am captain of the marine base that is stationed here. I have come to arrest you, said Smoker. Oh? I refuse. I am going to be the Pirate King so I can't be arrested. Smiled Luffy. Smoker frowned. Pirate King. Hi. I am going to the Grand Line. Someone, as young as you, become Pirate King. I was here 20 years ago when the Pirate King was killed. For someone like you who hasn't even been to the Grand Line to claim they will be Pirate King is a joke, stated Smoker. If you truly want to be Pirate King, then you have to beat me. If you can't beat me then you have no right going to the Grand Line. Luffy smiled largely. So I just have to beat you, do I? Alright then. He was about to attack when he started to fall and bounced around. Smoker's eyes widened. So he is a rubber man. A devil fruit user like me. Maybe this would be a challenge after all. Aw crap, I'm stuck. Yelled Luffy trying to get free. He finally managed to get free and fell right on top of his head. What is he doing? Frowned the captain. Okay. I'm ready. Luffy brought back his arm and shot it forward. Captain Smoker jumped over it as it hit the ground forming an indentation. Too slow, smirked Smoker, appearing beside Luffy and punching him in the face. The Straw Hat Pirate flew for a bit before smirking as he gained his balance and fired another pistol punch. Smoker dodged it with ease, kicking Luffy right in the chest before delivering a punch to the face. Pathetic. You are worth 30 million berry. I don't even have to use my powers, scowled Smoker. Luffy stood up and smirked widely as he brought back his leg and swung it forward. Smoker ducked around it and it got wrapped around a fountain. Uh-oh, blinked Luffy before yelling as he was shot off into the distance. What is up with him? Muttered Smoker. Monkey D. Luffy had to be the strangest pirate that he had ever met. Elsewhere, Naruto grinned happily as he checked out his new outfit. A simple white shirt with no sleeves and was cut down the middle on both sides. This allowed him to move it out of the way so that when he used his powers he would rip or poke holes in it. Plus he now wore a pair of black pants that were bandages up at the bottom near his ankles. To finish the outfit he wore his favorite open-toed sandals that Dr. Higurashi had customized for him that let his toes breathe. He just hated regular shoes and those floppy sandals were a big no. These sandals were perfect with rubber soles and very comfortable. I'll take 3 more pairs of these shirts in red, blue, and purple. Plus, I want 5 more pairs of these pants in white and black, grinned Naruto. That'll be 200 berry. Anything else, sir? Asked the lady with a friendly smile. Oh yeah, is there anywhere around here where I can have shoes made for me? I would like to get a few extra pairs of these sandals made for me, smiled Naruto. There is a shoe store near the gallows, but I am not sure they do special custom jobs, answered the woman. Naruto sighed, just his luck. Oh well, just have to send Higurashi Tausen a letter and ask for him to deliver more through Yami. Yami was a large eagle that Naruto had made friends with while in the woods of his home island. It would sometimes deliver packages for him. He never knew how, but somehow that bird was always able to find him no matter where he was. Thank you, smiled Naruto, taking his bag of clothes and leaving. Time to check out the gallows. Luffy wasn't the only one who wanted to see them. He started to whistle a light tune. Naruto disappeared into his own world as people started to run by him in the opposite direction. They were screaming about something, but he turned it out. Not his problem. Man, he wished someone on the crew could play an instrument of some sort. That would be so cool. A musician, that is what they really needed. Naruto grinned as he arrived at the gallows before blinking at the sight in front of him. Buggy laughed loudly as he raised the sword above his head. The sky started to darken and rain fell down heavily. There lying trapped in the bindings was Monkey D. Luffy, unable to escape. Down on the ground Zoro and Sanji did their best to get to their captain. Time to die, Monkey D. Luffy. Now all bear witness to the flashy execution. Shouted Buggy, raising his sword high. Zoro and Sanji continued to fight knowing they needed to hurry. Luffy saw the sword heading for his neck and looked up to smile. Sorry, he started, I'm dead. The Straw Hat Pirates continued to smile as the sword grew closer. Buggy smiled widely as he was about to kill the Straw Hat Pirate who dared to mock and humiliate him. It was never to happen as several pinching were heard as the sword was knocked out of Buggy's hand. If that wasn't enough, a sudden lightning bolt struck the tower, electrocuting the clown. Man, that sure was a close call. Good thing I have a semi-perfect aim, grinned Naruto. He had his right hand with his pointed finger pointed at Buggy. Basically he had made a pistol with his hand. Nice shooting, smirked Zoro. Surround those pirates now, ordered Smoker. The captain was staring at Luffy. He was smiling. Could he have known he would be saved by his crew? No, he had accepted death and prepared for it completely. Only one other man had that smile upon his death. An image of the Pirate King just as he was executed appeared in his head. Down on the ground, Zoro and Sanji caught up to Naruto and Luffy just as 100 Marines came rushing in from all corners. "This is so cool. What a large fight," smiled Luffy. The gallows collapsed and out of the debris emerged Luffy. Buggy had swirls in his eyes from just being electrocuted. Hon Gatling gun, smirked Naruto firing a barrage of bone finger digit bullets at the approaching Marines. He could fire 5 at a time at a speed of 5 shots a second. The Marines screamed as they were hit in the legs and arms. Naruto decided not to go for killing shots. "We need to get back to the ship or we will never make it to the Grand Line," stated Sanji, knocking out a pirate and a Marine. "Oh? Well, let's get going," said Luffy, taking off. Sanji led the way with Naruto and Luffy taking up the middle while Zoro covered their rear. They ran towards the docks without stopping. Marines were running after them from behind. Sanji's eye gained a heart in it as he looked ahead to see a pretty woman. "Oh my, who is that beautiful woman?" yelled the cook. She had her head down as the rain poured. All of them came to a pause as she looked at them through betrayed chocolate brown eyes. You lied to me," yelled Tashigi glaring at Zoro. "What did you do to her?" shouted Sanji angrily at Zoro. The swordsman stepped forward. "You never asked my name." "I never lied to you," said Zoro simply. "That sword doesn't belong in the hands of a scoundrel like you. Unforgivable. I shall confiscate that sword from you," shouted Tashigi placing her hand on the hilt of her blade. "Just try it," smirked Zoro, drawing his blade. The two moved forward clashing blades against one another. Tashigi glared at Zoro who continued to smirk. They clashed blades a few more times before Sanji yelled. "Zoro, how dare you attack a woman?" yelled Sanji. Staying out of this, Sanji was surprised to hear Tashigi speak. "This was a fight between Roronoa and I. No one is to interfere," she finished with a determined look. "You heard her, go," ordered Zoro. Luffy smiled as he ran by with Naruto following. Sanji sent one last warning to Zoro about not harming her before following the other two. They ran ahead knowing that Zoro would be fine. Sanji was more worried about the woman as she was out of her league. The group was almost at the harbor when they came upon another Marine. "Monkey D. Luffy, I told you would not be going to the Grand Line until you could defeat me," stated Smoker. "Oh yeah, I remember you now," smiled Luffy. "Play dumb all you want," glared Smoker. "Luffy, Sanji, Naruto, go ahead. I can handle this," smiled Luffy confidently. Sanji and Naruto hesitated, but Luffy told them to go again so they left. Smoker just let them go knowing that they wouldn't get far in this weather, not when his Marines were already at the dock with the cannons. Going merry, Nami gripped the edge of the deck as the rain and wind grew stronger. If the others didn't arrive soon they would be stuck on the island and she would be out on the sea all alone. Worse, she would be stuck with that idiot Usopp. "Nami-chan. She smiled as she recognized that voice anywhere. Her eyes turned toward the dock to see Sanji and next to him was Naruto. The two were running on the dock keeping up with the Going Merry that was getting pulled further away from the island. "Behind you," shouted Usopp pointing at the group of Marines. Naruto and Sanji spun around taking out the Marines with ease. However, it seemed for everyone they took out, 2 more showed up. They were like roaches. Suddenly, strong green winds blew through the entire island, blowing everything and everyone. They all got up groggily and looked into the distance. "The ship is pulling away. We will never get to it now," shouted Usopp. "I got it," smiled Luffy in that way whenever he got an insane idea. He grabbed a railing and pulled himself very far back. Gomu Gomu no rocket. Sanji, Zoro, Naruto and Usopp were all grabbed by their crazy captain. They flew through the air towards the Going Merry and collided with its sail, then fell down onto the deck. Luffy laughed happily. "Guys," smiled Nami, happy they had made it. A few minutes later they were all aboard. "How about a proper toast as we make our way to the Grand Line," smirked Sanji. He raised his foot and placed it on top of the barrel. "To find all blue." Luffy smirked widely, "To become the Pirate King. To become the greatest swordsman," smirked Zoro putting his foot up. "To draw a map of the world," beamed Nami. "I to become a brave warrior of the sea," said Usopp. "To have the greatest adventure of all time," grinned Naruto. "To the Grand Line," shouted Luffy as they all raised their legs up high. Thanks for watching my video, see you next time, till then sayonara.